All right. So from our Brianna Wiest 101 essays that will change your life, change the way you think, and no, we don't get kickbacks for this. It's just a really good book. She's an amazing author. Our question this month is, what would you stand for if you knew that nobody would judge you?
Is there examples?
Nope.
Okay. Say it again. Say it again.
What would you stand for if you knew that nobody would judge you?
Um, I, I kind of like wondering why would it be different if you knew nobody judged you?
Yeah.
Is it more like you would be more vocal about it, or would you like I
I
don't know
sort of,
what.
yeah, that's how I interpret that. It's sort of like, are there things that you would say? Are there things that you would, I don't know, petition for or whatever, that maybe you're afraid to stand in that arena right now? You're afraid of what judgment might happen. I mean,
I
honestly,
think
like my brain's a blank. I'm with Tracy. Like, are there any examples to go with this?
so.
But
Let's. I'm not going to say stand for, but I can kind of see a little bit. So I'm just going to go down this path. You guys can shoot me if you want. I grew up in an extremely Roman Catholic household, church, the whole thing. And I did not feel, I still have my faith, I still have spirituality. I'm not so sure I stand behind the Roman Catholic belief of it, but I would never, never have let that known until my last parent passed away.
okay, so maybe that's what it's maybe it's that kind of thing.
But
Yes.
then that's a layer because is that because out of respect for your parents, you didn't want to offend their beliefs? So is that you not
Yeah.
standing for that, or is that more
I
of
just
a
didn't want to, I didn't want to go through the argument with them
mm,
because
Hmm.
I've seen how um, they would become like, then you're going to go to hell. And then like, why isn't your grandchild baptized? Because they
right,
don't believe in her. Well, what if she dies? She's going to hell. And I'm
right.
like, I don't really think that's going to happen. Like, hmm, I think our my creator has a better like you didn't follow this rule, so I have to send you to
Hmm.
hell,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know? So or in purgatory or whatever it is. And so I don't know if I would have been judged, but I don't think I wanted the argument or the disappointment.
Mm.
Maybe she's just simply talking about the ability to use your voice,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm kind of thinking of family and friends. This is again not, I don't know her intention, but I go,
Hmm.
sometimes I'm not going to say things
Hmm.
if someone says something, even though I'm like, I don't really agree with what you're talking about. And it's not like politics or something like that. It's just that I really don't agree. But I know me coming at you or challenging you on that, then I feel like I'm going to get judged because I'm not tying, what's it called?
Right.
Towing the line. I'm not
Yeah. Towing the
doing
line.
what
Yep.
yeah, towing the line with what is the consensus right now at this group of people or these family members. And so if no one would judge me, and I don't know if maybe that's not the right word, judge, but it is that I kind of just, meh, is it worth the energy? I don't know if that's
And I,
what she means, but that's how the only thing I think I stand for the things I feel I should speak about. So I don't I don't know.
I agree. I understand what you're saying. There are times where I'll be like, and there'll be times where I'm like, where are they going with this? And I'll be like, well, I'm gonna not challenge that. I'm gonna say, tell me more about it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think also sometimes we don't always hear what people are saying. We have our interpretation of how somebody is saying something.
Mhm. Mhm.
So sometimes I'll see clarification and then I'll be like, oh, okay. And they'll be like, what, you don't agree with me? I'm like, no, I was just seeking clarification. In my mind, it might be I don't agree with them. And sometimes, depending, like you said, Tracy G, who you're talking to, I might say, I don't agree with that, but it's not a big deal to me. It's not. Okay. Believe it. I'm not going to sit here and have an argument with you. No need.
I think that's part of it though, because I'm just trying to think of like a lot of parenting. You can, if you have a particular idea of how parenting should go, you get challenged on that, and then you're judged like, oh, you do it that way, you're an idiot, right? And
Mhm.
so, like, especially now, talking to any of the kids having kids, like it's like, whoa, we really parented differently
Yeah.
than how it's being parented now. But I don't like I say some things, but I'm very I watch my words.
Yes. That
Oh,
is,
she's just old school. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
yeah.
And that's
I've seen a lot
judgy.
of that. I think if I was in the middle of a huge injustice, like something was like right here in front of me that I didn't believe, I would I would have faith in myself to stand up and have it.
Mhm.
And I don't care if I'm being
Mhm.
judged because I want to be respected for what I believe. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's my belief. That's the way I think. And I think we as a society throughout the whole world has lost that ability to have a conversation and walk away from a table being okay with different beliefs
Mhm.
and different opinions about things.
Mhm. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I totally agree with that. People don't know how to have, people are always trying to convince the other side that they're wrong and I'm right, instead of like, okay, that's interesting. That's your feelings, that's your opinion. This is
Yeah.
mine. The two don't meet. I mean, that's what I mean, it's good that we don't all think the same, you know?
Yep. I've had it with some very close people. I'm not going to continue having this argument. I don't, I hear what you said. Here's
Mm.
my thought process. And if it didn't like physically affect me or mentally affect me, like it was a belief that I can still live with,
Mhm.
I just let them have that belief and I stay with my belief. I think we've lost that. But
Mhm.
I can't say I would stand up like the only there was a sense of relief. Probably the only sense of relief was now not having to act the Roman Catholic, in front of my parents. Because when I saw my grandmother, when I lived in Connecticut and Wisconsin and would come down here when my grandmother was alive, at 3:30 every Saturday, I had to go to church with her. I
Mm.
had to. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like if I did not go, like it was her, my mother, and me. And my mother would be sitting there like holding my hand, like squeezing it. And I'm like, it's almost over, Ma. It's almost over. And my mother had great faith also. I have great faith. Because I don't walk into a church does not mean I don't have great faith or spirituality. So it's kind of a relief.
Did we answer the question?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's lots of ways to interpret that question. I think you can interpret it like the hard line thing, like you mentioned. If there's an injustice happening in front of you, would you stand up and say what you felt? There's, like, is it are you doing a disservice by not saying something when it's like, do you really want to go down that road with these people? Like, is it really that important to say what you think in that moment? Like, yeah, it's a hard one to interpret. It really is. So I think there's lots of various ways that you can think about that. And I think the word judge in there is also
Yeah,
like judged or I mean,
yeah.
I think people can have differing opinions and not judge you.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like judging to me means like they're going to put a label on you,
Yep,
right? As being something,
yep.
whatever that label happens to be. But I
But
don't
it always feels more
necessarily.
negative than positive.
Yes,
Oh,
for
I judged
sure.
her to be an amazing person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
exactly.
usually don't
And
say that.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
as I also find, where do I want to keep my peace? My
Yes,
peace, my
yes.
energy, and my peace. We talked
Mhm.
about this a couple times in a couple episodes. Where do I want to keep my energy? And I know people who are like argumentative and it's this way, and why do you think like this? And you have to go this way, and you have to do this. And in my mind, I'm like, am I ever going to see this person again? Probably not. I'm keeping my peace.
And also, I mean, maybe that's where that saying "pick your battles" comes from.
And
It's like,
yes,
like really, like,
yep,
is this really worth it? Like, is it really worth
yep,
it to
yeah,
create whatever? Because that also, the sentence also implies there's going to be an adversary situation
yep,
that takes place if you decide to stand up for whatever it is that you're standing up for, right?
right,
That there's going to be pushback, negative pushback.
Yeah.
yep,
So yeah,
And I also
yeah,
like, I know, Michelle, you had to do this every Saturday, but to me, that's like this respect for your grandma,
yeah,
regardless
yeah.
of that it was a religious thing. It's a
yes.
respect for your grandma. Three
Mhm.
generations of women together for the
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon. There's some,
And and
you
and you
know,
were right. There was a respect, but there was also, I had to when I sat down with them and they're like, well, is someone so baptized? And I'm like, no, they're not doing that. Well, she's going to hell. And I'm like, no, she's
yeah,
not. She's not, Grandma. Yes, she is.
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna
yeah.
sit here
Pick
and
your
have an
battles.
argument with a
Yeah,
90-year-old woman that my granddaughter is going to go to hell because she was not baptized. Nope, not doing it. Pick my battles.
that's it.
So,
Pick the battles.
so viewer, what do you think of this question? Did we talk around it? Did we answer? Did
Maybe
we
maybe
keep?
the point of the question is really just to have an introspection of do you recognize what you do in those given situations?
Yeah, yeah, that's an enlightenment. So, what do you think? Put it down in the comments. Hit the like button. Make sure you share this with somebody who you think needs to hear this. Hit that like button and subscribe and notifications so you know when our next episode will be out. Until next time.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.